Go. So, welcome everyone to class 104 of the Biblical Foundation, the book of Genesis, which is also the book of beginnings. So, praise the Lord. We're here this evening with Eloisa and Ejimar. And so let's go right into it. Let's go. We're going to review the material we looked at last week, which is the offering of Isaac. So, Eloisa, can you kindly read Genesis 22, verse 10 in English?
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
Beautifully pronounced. Thank you. So, there we are. Here's estendeu Abraão a sua mão e tomou o cutelo para imolar o seu filho. And remember, if your English professor errs in Portuguese pronunciation, please correct me. Okay? And just you might see I returned us to verse 10 for a reason. So Ejimar, can you kindly read question 1 in English?
We know from Hebrew 11:19 that Abraham believed God would resurrect Isaac if need be. To clarify the depths of Abraham's faith, was there ever a recorded resurrection prior to this time? It's a question, huh?
It is. It is. Beautifully pronounced. Thank you. So, what do you, either of you or both of you think? Was there ever a recorded resurrection prior to this time?
Yeah. Yes. In
Well,
Hebrew 11:12.
okay, but I'm not talking about
we-
in Hebrews. I'm talking about Abraham, at the time of Abraham. So back in Genesis 22. So before Abraham, at the time of Genesis 22, were there any recorded resurrections?
No,
Nope, that's correct. And so just
there
imagine
isn't
that.
any resurrection.
Yes, there was none. Well, none that the Bible tells us about. But I think it's clear.
Yeah,
So Abraham's faith was enormous. There had never happened a resurrection, yet he believed that
yeah.
if God needed to resurrect Isaac, God could do it. Okay, so that's amazing faith. What depth of faith. Okay, so I think I repeated a number here. No problem. But let's go ahead to Genesis chapter 22, verse 12. And so, Eloisa, can you kindly read that in English?
And he said, lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, since thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me.
Very good. Now, the word THOU, which is classic English for you, but it's very good because you in contemporary English, it can be plural or singular, but thou is singular, and it's pronounced thou with an open O, not though, as though it was THOUGH. So very
Mhm.
good. So thou. So let me try that in English. I mean in Portuguese. Então disse: Não estendas a tua mão sobre o moço, e não lhe faças nada, porquanto agora sei que temes a Deus, e não me negaste o teu filho, o teu único filho. Wow. Okay, so Edgemar, can you kindly read question one, what that starts with what is?
What is the principal component of fearing God?
Okay. So remember, the angel of God just said, "For I know now I know that thou fearest God." So
Mhm.
what was the principal component of fearing God in Abraham's actions?
Well, respect.
Agreed?
Faith,
And what's another word if you respect and do what someone tells you to do? It's
obey.
obey, absolutely. Okay, so respect and obey. Thank you. All right, so let's go. This is interesting. Eloisa gets to say all of the verses, at least on the
Yes.
first page. Okay, so Eloisa, can you kindly read Genesis chapter 22, verse 13 in English?
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering and in the stead of his son.
Beautifully pronounced, thank you. And so in Portuguese, então, levantou Abraão os seus olhos e olhou, e eis um carneiro detrás dele, travado pelos seus chifres no mato. E foi Abraão, e
Mhm.
tomou o carneiro e ofereceu-o em holocausto em lugar do seu filho. All right, so
Beautiful
Edgemar,
pronoun.
thank you. Sorry.
Beautiful pronouns.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind. So, Edgemar, can you kindly read question two in English?
This is fulfillment of that prophecy recently made.
Okay. So this is in fulfillment of what prophecy recently made? All right. So do you know that we actually read it last class?
Well,
I didn't come last class, but I think it is referred to Jesus.
Okay. But where's the prophecy?
How can
Well,
I say
well,
Jesus?
it's actually, and so Eloisa, I'll remind you often the answer, or sometimes the answer is in the next line in the following verse. And and when I put it in X, it's because I want to make it for us to go, okay, so all right, but where is that verse? So let's go ahead and
A
read
land of God.
yes, so let's go ahead and read the next verse, and then we'll figure out, okay, and where might it be in the Bible? So Eloisa, can you kindly read Genesis mystery chapter, mystery verse?
And Abraham said, my son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together.
Beautiful. Okay, so this is in the same chapter we're in. And
Yeah,
it's actually,
22 verse 8.
yes, absolutely right. Okay, so it was a prophecy by Abraham. He told Isaac, God, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. And indeed he did. an actual ram. All right, so I'm going to try that in Portuguese. E disse Abraão: Deus provará para si o cordeiro para o holocausto, meu filho. Assim caminharam ambos juntos. Okay, so Abraham also makes prophecies, and he was absolutely right. He didn't know. He said he didn't, maybe God would provide the lamb named Isaac. He didn't know, but he knew that God would provide a lamb. So what
Yes.
faith? Okay. So now we're going to change. So, Ejimar, can you kindly read the next verse, which is at the top of the next page, and that's Genesis 22, verse 14 in English.
And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh,
That's a hard one. Jehovah Jireh. Jehovah Jireh.
Jehovah Jireh,
Excellent.
as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen.
Thank you. E chamou Abraão o nome daquele lugar. O Senhor proverá, donde se diz até ao dia de hoje. No monte do Senhor se proverá. All right, so let's take a look at that. I added a question that we didn't have last week. So Eloisa, can you kindly read question 3 in English?
What does Jehovah Jireh mean?
Okay. What do you think? Do you know from your Bible studies?
There is a song that says, Jehovah Jireh, my provider, his grace is sufficient for me. My God shall supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. He'll give his angels charge over me. Jehovah Jireh cares for me. Provides
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. That was
Yeah.
lovely.
Thank you.
Eloisa, will you kindly sing a song every class in English for us? That would be just lovely. Thank you. So you're absolutely right. So I think the second verse of that song, when it mentions Jehovah Jireh, and then it explains what it means, and it's the Lord will provide.
The provider.
Okay, so the Lord will provide, which is exactly what happened, because that's in fact what Abraham prophesied, that the Lord would provide a lamb, and he did. Okay, beautiful. So, Ejimar, can you kindly read question 4 in English?
What is the more common name for that mountain?
Okay, or that mount.
Mount.
Yes, which is a mount is like not quite a mountain. All right, a mountain is big or bigger.
Yes.
So a mount is a little bit
Yeah.
smaller. All right, so do you remember? Do you remember Ejimar from last class? We were like, oh, this is that mount. Do you remember the name?
Oh no.
How about you, Eloisa? Might you know? This is another Bible scholar question.
Moriah.
You're absolutely right. Thank you. So they're on Mount Moriah. Incredible.
Moriah.
Okay, so Eloisa, can you continue with question 5 in English?
What other events will occur on the same mount?
Okay, so this is an incredible place in biblical history. The Mount Moriah has many important events. So the first is Abraham's offering of Isaac. So that's the first important event. Can you think of some others?
in the next verse, it tells,
You're absolutely right. And so what is that verse about? Can you tell?
I didn't find what book is the angel.
Well, we can see, and we'll read. Let's go ahead and read that verse. So, Ejimar,
Okay.
can you kindly read the mystery book, chapter 21, verse 18 in English, please?
Then Solomon began to build the
No.
house. Huh?
The angel.
Oh, yes, sorry, the one above.
Then the angel of the Lord commanded God, Gad,
Gad.
Gad,
Mm,
Gad or God?
Gad.
Yeah.
1 minute. Gad to say to David, and David should go up and set up an altar unto the Lord in the thresh floor of Holman the Jebusite.
Okay, in English, Jebusite.
Jebusite.
And that long word before, it's hard. Threshing floor. Threshing floor.
Resting.
Excellent. And let me try that in Portuguese, but it'll help translate a few things. Então o anjo do Senhor ordenou a Gade que dissesse a Davi para subir e levantar altar ao Senhor na era de Ornã, o Jebuseu. Okay, so can we guess what Bible book might this be in? Not easy to tell, but any guesses? It's obviously one of the history books.
I don't know.
Well, it's First Chronicles. Okay, so First Chronicles. And so as you pointed out, Eloisa, so this is David built an altar. He set up an altar on Mount Moriah. And just to remind you, he set up the altar because of the end of the plague that he caused on his own people. Okay, so he set up an altar to commemorate the plague's end. All right, so that's now that's event number 2. What might event number 3 of importance be?
Then Solomon began to build the house of the Lord at Jerusalem in Mount Moriah, where the Lord appeared unto David, his father, and the place that David had prepared in the threshing floor of Ornan and Jebus.
The Jebusite.
Difficult name to pronounce.
I know when it's spelt the same but pronounced differently, it can be very difficult. I know from experience. Okay, so any guess what book this is in?
Second Chronicle.
Chronicles, absolutely right. Very good. So Second Chronicles 3:15, and let me read that now. Second Chronicles 3:15. Fez também diante da casa, 2 colunas de 30. Oh, is that right?
No.
Uh-oh. Then I wrote down the wrong verse. That's very bad. Let me see. I can find it here. Oh, 3:1. Okay,
Yeah.
here we are. Yep, I just added a 1 by mistake. So, também fez na casa. Oh, no, it's okay. Oh, well, I'm getting there.
Second Chronicle.
Yes, it's 3:1. E começou Salomão a edificar a casa do Senhor em Jerusalém, no Monte Moriá, onde o Senhor aparecera a Davi, seu pai, no lugar que Davi tinha preparado na era de Ornã, o Jebuseu. And Eloisa, you were absolutely right. So the answer was in the next verse. And so then also, so what's the other big event on Mount Moriah? Well, we just read in the verse. So what happened in that verse?
The build of
Of the temple.
the build of the house of the Lord
Yes,
in Jerusalem,
exactly. So this is
the
Solomon's
temple.
this is Solomon's temple. Okay, so another
Yeah.
another very important thing. And so I'll just add two more,
Acho
and
que
we won't go
travou.
to most of the
Travou.
Travou.
okay, but I think it's back.
Vamos
So
aqui.
so patience
Yeah,
with
now
the
it's back.
internet. Thank you. And so two other things of importance happen in Mount Moriah. Most of Jesus Christ's ministry is in the temple on Mount Moriah, and his crucifixion is nearby. All right, so it's not actually on Mount Moriah, but it's very close. So Mount Moriah is an incredible place. So let's go. Edmar, can you read question 6 in English, please?
Is there a theme to this event? And if so, what is it?
Okay, so what do you think? If there is a theme to these events, is there a theme to these events? And if so, what is it? A theme to a lot of the events we just listed as happening on Mount Moriah. Well, it's not too clear, but a lot of things happen in in these events on Mount Moriah. We can say it's where faith and sacrifice and divine provision all come together. So faith, sacrifice, and divine provision. And another way to look at it is that Mount Moriah is at the very center of redemptive history. So it's very much about redemption. Okay, so in a sense, Isaac is redeemed, and so is Abraham. He's shown to be his fear of the Lord is proved, and obviously, and it goes on from there, particularly with Jesus Christ's ministry and nearby sacrifice in order to redeem the world. So let's go ahead now with new material. So Eloisa, can you kindly read Genesis chapter 22, verses 15 and 16, please?
And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done the things, and hast not withheld thy son, thy only son.
Beautiful. There's that classic English word, it's saith the Lord. Okay. So in contemporary English, it would be say, but it saith the Lord. And again, it adds specificity that saith is first person, sorry, third person singular. So that th often it gives us added information. Okay, so let me try that in Portuguese. Então, O anjo do Senhor bradou a Abraão pela segunda vez desde os céus e disse: Por mim mesmo jurei, diz o Senhor, porquanto fizeste esta ação e não me negaste o teu filho, o teu único filho. So let's go ahead because we're going to now see the Lord's blessing as a result of Abraham's incredible faith. So, Ejimar, can you read Genesis chapter 22, verse 17 in English, please?
That in blessing I will bless thee, and multiply I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of this enemy.
Very good. Up in the first line, I didn't hear in the middle, and in multiplying, I will multiply the seed. So it's in gerund form, right? So multiplying. Very good. Let me try that in Portuguese. Que deveras te abençoarei e grandissimamente multiplicarei a tua descendência como as estrelas dos céus e como a areia que está na praia do mar, e a tua descendência possuirá a porta dos seus inimigos. Wow. The angel of the Lord is saying amazing things. So, Eloisa, can you kindly read question A in English?
How many stars are visible to the naked eye?
Okay, so I want to remind you that the Bible is an amazing book of science as well. Okay, modern skeptics don't like to hear that, but it's true. And so, so let's see, what am I getting at? So, how many stars are visible to the naked eye? So, no help. So, you look up at the sky and just with your eyes, how many stars are visible, more or less?
More than we can number.
Okay, but that's
Much more than we can imagine.
okay, but that is saying, but that's answering not what the naked eye can see, but what modern technology now tells us. But back in the time of Abraham, there was no modern technology. So when I say naked eye, you go out on a clear night. Can you count 1,000,000 stars? No. Can you count 100,000 stars? No. So the eye can only see 3,000 stars at best. Okay. And so you go, well, wait a second. Let's go to question, and maybe then we have a problem. Maybe the Bible is a poor science book, but no, it isn't. Let's look at the next one. Edgemar, can you read question B in English?
B.
B.
How do we know? Yeah. How do we know the Bible is scientifically correct? That the stars are as numerous as grains of sand.
Beautifully pronounced. Thank you. So what technology allowed us to see many more stars? I can say the eyeglasses we all wear, they're okay, but they don't allow us to see all the stars. What do we need to see many, many, many stars? What do we need? We need a telescope. Okay, so a
Yes.
telescope, okay, is modern technology, maybe in the time of Galileo. So here's a good question for you. So now modern science tells us that yes, this verse is absolutely correct because we now have an estimate of how many stars there are and an estimate on how many grains of sand there are on the earth. And I won't ask you to guess, but I'll give you the answer already. It's roughly 10 to the 25th power. Now, 10 to the 25th power means 10 followed by 25 zeros. Okay, so
Oh,
there's not even
so many zeros.
yeah, so there's not even a name
Caramba.
for it, right? Million, billion, trillion. It's too big a number, but we have an estimate, and the estimate is roughly the same for grains of sand and number of stars. 10 to the 25th power. All right, the Bible is absolutely correct. But they couldn't know that back then,
Tá
right? So
bom.
in
Tá bom.
Abraham's time, they would read that verse and go, well,
Sim,
that
verdade.
it doesn't make sense. Back in Abraham's time, like, how can that be? The stars, there's many more grains of sand than stars, they would have said. But no, patience. God brings us the technology, and eventually we learn the Bible is absolutely correct. Okay, so Eloisa, can you kindly read question C in English?
Could any angel promise what is promised in verse 17?
Okay,
No.
so say that
No.
again, Eloisa.
No.
Correct. So if not any angel, what does that show us?
Any angel.
If it can't be any angel, then the angel of the Lord is who? Is it Archangel Michael? No.
No.
So who can make this kind of promise? I will bless thee, and in multiplying, I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven. Is that
Mm-hmm. The
something an
Lord
angel can
himself.
promise? Sorry?
The Lord
Ye-
himself.
Okay, exactly right. Jesus Christ. Okay, so this is
And if I say the angel of the Lord, is that correct?
You're absolutely correct. And I said that last class, and some people are like, wow, I had never heard that before. But when it's the angel of the Lord in the Old Testament, it is a theophany. It is always referring to Jesus Christ in his pre-incarnate form. When it's a angel of the Lord, that can be it can be a number of angels. But when it's the angel of the Lord, it's Jesus Christ. And here we have proof because, at least in this story, the angel of the Lord can only be Jesus Christ because the promise made is something that only God could promise. So, Edgemar, can you kindly read question D in English?
Is Ab- sorry. As Abraham was willing to offer his only son of promise, how was his willingness multiplied? How many times over?
Yes. No how, but many times over. So his willingness multiplied many times over. All right, so let's think together. So Abraham was willing to offer his only son, and his willingness was then multiplied many, many times over. How can you interpret that? Well, it's not that he will receive
Okay.
many, many, many sons, but the promise is that his descendants, his willingness,
Oh, yeah.
all right, to give one resulted in many, many nations. And this is the Abraham covenant, and it's being repeated. But just see, one act of willingness on Abraham's part is rewarded then many, many, many times over. In that through Isaac, there will be many nations. All right. So many,
Mhm.
many people. So, in a sense, an immense number of descendants, as many as sand, grains of sand and stars in the heaven. Okay, so wow, his willingness then was multiplied. Eloisa, can you read Genesis 22, verse 18, please?
And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou
Mm,
hast obeyed my voice.
very good. Thank you for that beautiful thou. Em tua descendência serão benditas todas as nações da terra, porquanto obedeste a minha voz. Okay. So let's go on. So, Ejimar, can you read question E in English, please? Top of the next page.
Why is seed in the singular thrice in the last two verses and not plural?
Okay. So what do you think? As we just read in verse 18, in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Well, maybe shouldn't that say seeds? Is that a mistranslation?
Seeds in here means nation.
Well, it says, in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. But the question is, why is seed singular? If it was seeds, then you'd say, oh, those are all of Abraham's direct descendants. It's Isaac and Isaac's sons and Isaac's grandsons, etc., all those seeds. But why then is the word in the plural? I mean, in the singular.
And not the plural.
Yes. Well, who does thy seed represent? It's Abraham's, it's the seed of Abraham, but when it's saying thy seed, in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth.
His descendants.
Well, but that's the thing. You think his descendants are plural, and this says in thy seed in singular. And anyway, how can all of Abraham's descendants, through them, all the earth and nations of the earth be blessed? No, it sounds like there's one person through whom all the nations will be blessed. And who is that person?
It comes from one person.
Yes. And who is that one person? Who is a descendant of Abraham, but who is that person who blesses all the nations of the earth? It can only be Jesus Christ. Okay, so in thy
Yeah.
seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Okay, so and that's the answer to the question why the seed, the word seed is in the singular and not the plural, because it's making us think, wait a second, in thy seed? Well, that's one person. And who is that person? Well, it's Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead. So Eloisa, can you read question F in English, please?
How will Abraham's seed bless all the nations and when?
Okay.
Through Jesus.
Yes, and when will that happen? Did it
and
happen?
Jesus come.
Okay, but did it happen in the first coming? Not really, right? Because he was killed. So then
Yeah.
you said when Jesus comes, you're correct. And what's the name of the next time Jesus comes? It's the second coming.
The second come.
Okay, so next time that Jesus comes, remember all knees will bend to him and for him. So they all will recognize,
Mhm.
all creation will recognize him as the creator and the Lord over us all. And so at that point, all the
Every
nations,
knee shall bow.
say it again.
Every knee
Yes,
shall bow.
thank you. Okay, so this is it's
Knee.
Jesus Christ and it's in the second coming. So again, so this is a beautiful prophecy in verse 18. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. So God has promised Abraham a massive number of descendants. Many nations will descend from Abraham, but now he's being very specific. Well, but most importantly, one descendant will bless the entire world, and that can only be Jesus Christ. Okay, Edgemar, can you kindly read the last verse of the evening, Genesis 22, verse 19, please?
So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba.
In English, it's Beersheba. Beersheba.
Beersheba, no,
Okay. So,
Beersheba.
and in Portuguese, então, Abraão tornou aos seus
So,
moços.
Travou.
I'll start again. Então Abraão tornou aos seus moços e levantaram-se e foram juntos para Berseba. E Abraão habitou em Berseba. Okay, so the last question of the evening. Eloisa, can you kindly read question F in English?
Why didn't Abraham invite the young men who accompanied their journey to climb up Mount Moriah with them?
Very good. So yes, Moriah in English. Very good. Okay, so this is
Moriah.
speculation. The Bible doesn't tell us. The Bible doesn't tell us the answer to this question. But well, yeah. So why those young men traveled all the way 3 days? They traveled with them, and well, why didn't Abraham invite them up to the mountain to help with the offering? Any
I
guesses?
don't know.
So,
I was reading the text and I saw that they stayed there taking care of the horse and
mhm. Well, yeah, but why not bring the horses
and
up?
I don't know, maybe it's to take care of the horse because
Okay, so
someone had to do it.
that's one possibility. That's one possibility. So God didn't say to Abraham,
But it's
do
a very
this,
good
and
question.
yeah, all right. But any other reason? And like a possible reason?
Por que será que ele não deixou os moços subir com ele?
Well, I have one other possible
I
reason.
think it's
Yeah.
because it was his experience with God.
Hmm. Yes, so it was a more
And
intimate
maybe,
experience. But why would you want
yeah,
Why a more intimate experience? What was the problem or risk of having too many people?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you think
Lord,
those men were servants to Abraham,
yes,
correct? Do you think that their faith,
Yeah.
the faith of those servants, is as strong as Abraham and Isaac's faith?
Yeah.
But we don't know.
no,
Okay, we don't know because the
Maybe.
faith of Abraham and Isaac was incredible. Absolutely. They trusted in God that he would resurrect Isaac if need be. So this is just speculation, but like don't bring more people. Maybe they would interfere. Right? They would like, Abraham, what are you doing? Stop, stop.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just guessing, but there was some reason why Abraham left them at the bottom of the mount, and maybe that was it, because the faith, Abraham and Isaac's faith was immense, and not every man's faith can be that strong. So I pray that our faith can be as strong as Abraham's and Isaac's. So, any questions or comments in English?
I think no. Do
Okay.
you have any questions or comments? No?
All right.
no,
Well,
I have no question.
thank you. Well, I'm going to stop the recording. So I'm going to say thank you, whoever is watching. God bless you.